32 flavors.
Good evening. How are you all doing tonight? I am stuffed, filled with lots of food. It was good. Girlfriend and I went out for food and it was great, but man, I'm stuffed. But I'm happy to be here with you guys. So the other dudes aren't here yet, but I'm here. And I'm also on a new streaming thing. This is my first time. So you guys are my guinea pigs tonight on this thing. So we're gonna go through all this together. Let's see here. We got a lot of faces here. Welcome, of course, to Clobby's Comic Shop. This is what issue number 17 or 18, I think. Something like that. So thank you guys for being here early and right away. I do appreciate that. So stream here. Let's ignite some faces here. Lord Thoth, Dragon Master 360. How's it going? Snortopoopus Cuber, Vince Womack. How's it going? Vulcan lives. Conan by Crom. How's it going, Conan? Hey, Mad Else Retro Gaming. How's it going? Thank you for being here early. Stephen M. Cal L. Hello, hello, hello. Jonathan Conroy. 5 picoseconds. Oh, look at you guys packing in the house early and right away. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I love to see this. Oh, yeah. Oh, so yeah. Once again, I'm on Stream Elements now, and this is like a whole new thing for me. I still got a lot. I got to learn about how all this stuff works. Similar, but definitely very different to what's going on StreamYard after the psychotic price hike. I'm just like, bro.
Barbecue, huh? How do you like your ribs?
Yeah, about those. Yeah, I don't like them ribs. Oh, there's D-Bud Mark. There's Emblazing 64. How's it going, dudes? Thank you, gentlemen, for dropping in. Oh, I like that a lot of you are already in here. That is what is up. That is what the good stuff is for. Yeah, for some reason it's not going on Rumble the way that it should. Let me give it a look as to see why it's going on. This could be a Stream Elements thing, so bear with me here. But this week apparently some oversized Batman came out, and I didn't read it, but it's interesting to see all the hub about it. I personally, I don't care about another absolute Batman that's some giganto dude that seems like no, not for me. Just no. Just not for me. But people seem to like it, but it's all good. Let's see, let's try this again. Should be showing here. I don't know why it's not. So I apologize for my rumblers on that. Until the dudes get in here and chat, I'll fix things on the Rumble side. But for now, you guys are stuck with me, and that's fine. We can carry it over until those other dudes are here. So yes, we're gonna go over the Hellboy comic, Seed of Destruction tonight, which oversized. So you mean fat dude? I felt like I was gonna have like a heart attack. And I mean, not like, no, I wasn't like in actual physical pain, but it's just like the coma was setting in from the food. I had this really delicious grilled chicken sandwich and I had a really good Mai Tai. It was great. It was absolutely great. And it was an experience that I will absolutely never forget having. But Hellboy was the thing. With Hellboy, I'm already over there. I'm glad you're already over there on the green side. I just don't get why it's not being participative on the green side yet, but that could be also something with Streamlabs. For all I know, it might even be something that could be something that runs rampant through the night until I figure it all out on Streamlabs instead of StreamYard. But anyways, back to food. Yeah, Mai Tai, we had Saganaki. It was delightful. It was great, but man, I didn't know when to quit. I just did not know when to quit. And I had just stuffed my face filled with cheese and greatness. And I was like, wow, this is the best heart attack I could ever have. I didn't say that, but it definitely rang through my mind as I'm chowing down away and through my own life with this food. But it's okay. I live here to tell the tale. I'm gonna have a drink of beverage tonight. It's gonna be great. I got some Maker's Mark. Maker's good old Maker here will help me through tonight. It's gonna be great, and I'm looking forward to it. I didn't know when to stop. Then, dude, right? No, for real, Vince. I it was like in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna go light. I'm gonna go light, and I didn't. I didn't go light. I should have. I feel like my body's like I still feel like my body's in like I feel like I lost to the food. As good as it was, I lost. Not in terms of the greatness, but in terms of holy crap, I cannot do this. I don't know why I didn't say 5 6. Holy crap, there's already 17 of you in here. I love to see that. All you dudes being all up in here. Thank you guys. That's what I like to see. Vulcan. Oh, look at that. I got a fresh bottle of Kraken. Dude, nice. That's the way to do it, man. Fresh bottle of Kraken. Got that Kraken. I like seeing that. Stephen M says, did you hear the news that Henry Cavill will be starting the long rumored live action Voltron? I did. We talked a little bit about that yesterday at Midnight's Edge. You know, I don't really know much, if anything at all, about Voltron, but that's obviously good news if you got a personality like that involved, like Henry Cavill. I mean, I know obviously he was Superman for a bit, and he obviously is supposed to do stuff for The Witcher that until he dropped out. I think he did like what 2 or 3 seasons, and he dropped out. And I know he had problems towards the end with some of the creatives. I think Henry Cavill, regardless of how it turns out, he's gonna let us know how it is. He's definitely gonna be honest. He's gonna let us know if he feels like it's faithful. He's definitely a guy who will say if it is or is not. And he's also the type of guy where he's definitely at least gonna try to do whatever it takes to deliver the best of what would be the Voltron stuff. So, you know, once again, I don't know much about Voltron, but if you're a Voltron fan, assuming that you are, I hope you get the best story out of Cavill as possible. I mean, that's all we could really ask for nowadays. I fought the food and the food, dude. It do be like that, man. Seriously, it do be like that. I don't think y'all realize it is insane how much it do be like that, but it's true. From Talk Studios. Okay, no, I got just me. I'm like I'm one. What a what, dude? I man, I I don't know. I definitely did feel like I was one of us when I had finished. I was just like, this is defeat, man. This is straight up defeat. But hey, sometimes you gotta, take the loss sometimes. And I don't win everything. I try. I definitely try, but I definitely don't win them all. Let's see, with Henry Cavill Tad. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have a glimmer of hope. Yeah, at the least it has potential. It has potential. Are you someone who knows Voltron well, Mr. Kal-El? Let me know. Let me know in the chat if you are a man who knows his Voltron, because I don't. StreamYard bag, such devastation. There's not, dude. Straight up, man. Even though I've got some stuff here with Streamlabs, I'm not like fully like grasping yet. Even though there's a lot that I got down, there's still things I still need to get down. When I saw that price hike, I'm like, bro, what? It wasn't like it was even like $5 or $10, but they brought it nearly double the price of what I was already paying. And I'm just like, I'm not doing that. If I had to start over, kind of fumble a little bit on something new for a week, and then I'll be all sorted and strained out, so be it. But I'm not dealing with that. That's just nuts. It was absolutely psychotic how big of a price hike it is. And it seems like a lot of people are getting on that Exodus bandwagon themselves. And I don't blame them. So maybe companies like OBS and Streamlabs, as I'm using right now, here Rumble as a Rumble Studio. Maybe that's a sign that they're going to be getting a whole slew of new customers. because of that, because StreamYard is doing that. So whatever, man. And you know what that means though? The people who are stuck with StreamYard, who stay with StreamYard, they're the ones who are going to lose the most because it's just like every other business in the history of ever. When a company does a price hike on anything, and then the customers who stick around pay that extra, well, they pay the extra, but then all of a sudden you have a swarm of people who leave, and then they bump up the price again to make up for the loss of those who left. And the ones who are sticking around have to compensate by paying even more on top of the new price. That's sucky. It really is. You can't win with this type of crap. You just don't win, and it's unfortunate. It's just one of those things, man. It lived long enough to see itself become the villain. I mean, Action Jackson would not be about this.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
Ah, yeah, that's what it's about. It's be a such devastation. Yeah, see, if it wasn't, here's the thing: if it wasn't their intention, why so high of a price? I mean, granted, I know a lot of things are going up in price nowadays. I get it. Sadly, not that I should ever concede to that, but it's one of those things that I know it's all happening. Why is theirs this high? Why is theirs that much more? Like, wasn't StreamYard supposed to be like the top dog to it all? I swear I thought that they were. I thought StreamYard was supposed to be like, these are the big guns. This is like, I got it because it was the easiest to use. And it was just, what everyone else is on. So I didn't want to learn much. But, getting stuck with, no, here I am learning something else. And not only did I get stuck with a different platform, and which I'm still adjusting to, but it's already $5 cheaper than what I was using to begin with. And on top of $5 being cheaper, it's a lot more expensive. So because it's more expensive, I had to diddle and figure out all these buttons, and it's gonna be some time before I have it all down. But I'm looking forward to it because I do see potential here for a good future. I really do. So we shall see. Because I am absolutely hold on. I'm bracing myself. Okay, no, I sent the link. Okay. Just making sure. Hey, it's Grim. Hello, sir. How are you doing tonight? How you doing, Grim? For my guys, Vince, Vulcan, did you guys read Transformers this week? We'll just get out of the way now since I have no idea where the other guy's at. Did you guys read Transformers this week? I read Transformers and it was good. I was I was not expecting to see a Starscream oriented story. I think it takes place after issue 7 originally. There's a little bit of a flashback thing going on. Bro, this is happening. Okay. I want to see what goes on here. And then there's a big character who shows up. I'm like, here we freaking go. Here we freaking go. It's about bloody time. Oh, look, we got a guy here. He's probably adjusting to the new settings. Yeah, he's adjusting. Whenever you're ready, man. I'll keep chatting. I'll keep chatting because right now I'm just working around this. Oh yeah. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, Pablo, just talk whenever you're ready. For now, I'm just chatting away to the chat about Transformers. Nope, haven't gotten to read anything. No, dude, read it. I'm not giving away anything spoiler related, by the way. I'm just not. So I haven't given away details. I mean, you see the cover and Starscream is on it. So you won't feel like it's like, oh no, what's Nick doing? Why? How dare you? And Stephen M. To answer your familiar early question regarding my familiar vulture, somewhat. Oh, so you're one of those guys. You're one of those guys, Stephen M. Kal-El. One of those guys. I should have listened to my body. Dragon Master. I really should have. I should have just seriously just applied common sense. But to be fair, I have to question myself if I even have common sense because I don't know if I do have that. You know, I seriously like with the amount of like food and consume I did, I should have like. Oh, let's see if he's back here. Hello, hello, hello.
Howdy ho!
How's it going, Pablo?
I have sound finally.
How are you, sir?
Sorry, I'm really late, but
It's okay.
yeah, a friend of mine. For some reason, people have decided that when they are heartbroken, fighting with a significant other or whatever, they come to me. I have no
Oh.
idea why, because I suck at love. I truly suck at love in the most hideous way possible. But for some reason, people think that I'm a good listener. Maybe I have no idea. And so we were playing Magic the Gathering and talking about that. And the thing is that I was playing both of my commanders, both my strongest commanders and our control commanders. And as Ironcaster will know, when you are going control versus control, it's just two idiots doing nothing for hours.
You get to say, I say no. No, you don't get to say no, or I say no.
Yep.
You said no. No, I said no.
Man,
Oh.
we countered infinite combos for an hour and a half. That's basically everything that happened. And my decks, because I'm an asshole, are normally either full control so you don't get to do shit, or infinite combos out of the wazoo.
What, Pablo? Why do you hate people?
Because one night I was playing my decks and I was really happy about it. And I got in front of a CDH, got killed really fast, and got salty. I got my first infinite combo deck, and it became an infinite combo deck. Everything that does is infinite combos. And it started from there. But today, I finally finished something that I said a year ago that I was going to do. The only reason why I started playing Magic the Gathering again. It was having enough decks so my friends could come without any deck and could play Magic with me, no issues. And today,
Well, you see, Pablo, your problem was you had too much free money to spend, and you wanted a hobby to really waste it on.
the hardest part is no, I didn't have enough money. I'm still paying some of the cards, and my country went in. We are a month and a half without electricity every day. We get between 8 and 12 hours without electricity. So that means all the industry, everything, the economy is in shambles, and the economy is falling so rapidly that we are in the point where my country was about to be absolutely obliterated after the war on the 99. So we are worse than the crisis on the 2000. That is the reason why we abandoned our own currency and we got the dollar because the dollar was stronger. Guess what? This time we don't have that. So we are fucked. The economy is going. Man, if I start talking about the situation in my country, literally in a year, it's possible that the line for extreme poverty gets lowered because there's so many people on the middle class in that line that is already the middle class.
Jeez, man. That's depressing.
Yeah,
Straight
welcome to
up.
Latin America. By the way, Gary is next door. He's literally on Peru, the country next door.
That's crazy. So that's the closest you've literally ever been to Gary up to this point in your life.
I'm salty. If I had the money, and I mean it, if I had, it's around $50 to $60 for going one weekend to Peru, meeting Gary, saying hello, and coming back.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, May one day, man, we'll all finally cross paths, and it'll be diabolically great. And finally, what will have happened in a long time in the making will finally be.
Yeah,
Maybe
get
we'll
him.
be unburdened by what has been.
We need. We need to get Gary into the ancient Latin American dragons. There
Oh.
was a culture called the Tolita here in Ecuador
Mm-hmm.
that had gigantic pyramids with dragon sculptures everywhere. And there's a few of those dragon sculptures still around, especially in museums, because most of them were destroyed by the Spaniards, and by the time also is 4,000 years, almost 5,000 years. So shit is salt and become sand. But yeah, this culture believed in dragons. We don't know exactly why, but is I need to get one of the images, but is actually scary dragons like the ones that you will get on Asia here randomly, and dozens of years of difference between them getting those dragons and us getting those dragons. No connection on cultures, anything. So basically, maybe we had dragons. That's the current theory. Maybe we had something big and scary.
I mean, like, I just hope they don't eat me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you don't want to be eaten. It'd be kind of crazy if you did want to get eaten. Stephen M. Kellel says, I'm Kester. By the way, I mentioned this once before, but I really like your background, sir. Huge Castlevania fan here with a few sessions in that series of games.
Yeah. Well, it is the proper season for it, and I figured why not indulge and enjoy it, because I mean it's always great any time of year, but especially right now.
I just want to argue about Lords of Shadows.
Yeah.
Not so bad.
Oh,
It's still a bad Castlevania, but not so bad as a game. Everything after Lords of Shadows is trash.
like I get that, like, they wanted to try to reinvent and kind of lean into try some other ideas out, but ultimately no. Like, people want the Metroidvania stuff. They want they want what Koji Igarashi managed to really make work. And
Oh yeah,
if but no, like, Konami just wants to make pachinko machines.
God damn it. Yeah, same with Metal Gear, and they got rid of Kojima, and now Kojima is woke because he went to LA instead of staying away from the US. After he got caught by Konami, he just went to LA, got into wokeness, and they fucked Kojima. The guy that made Quiet because he wanted to see how many cosplayers will go naked to conventions.
What?
That was his reasoning for making Quiet. If you don't know, Quiet breathes through her skin. So she needs to have most of her skin completely out in the open to breathe. So she uses little clothing, if any. It was a trap by Kojima to get girls into skimpy outfits in the conventions, and he openly said it on an interview.
Wow. I did not expect to hear that.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Kojima was great. It was the same era where he was fighting against artificial intelligence and the absolute control of the governments through Metal Gear. And Metal Gear 2 is basically an anti-government, anti-internet regulation on the 2000s.
Okay.
Okay, am I the only one who realized we're in a new place?
This is a new place on absolute intention because I hopped off of StreamYard.
Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to pay him $40.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely not happening. Not doing it. I'm not doing it. Not paying for.
I would do anything to stream, but I won't do that.
Oh, that was good. That was really good.
Normally, I will search for my usual avatar, but since we are changing how we are doing the show, is Clobby's house, Clobby will have understood this and actually love it.
Oh, I wonder what Clobby would be doing right now with the change. He probably be like, oh, you should just pay the extra for it. Actually,
Oh yeah,
because he did not like change with
yeah.
things. He's right. You should have just paid the extra money. I can
Oh, but
already hear it now.
I meant the avatar because I don't know if you know, but when I started connecting with Clobby, was
Uh-huh.
not even about Doctor Who or comics or anything. It was the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy.
What? The Hitchhiker's Guide? Bro. The more you freaking know, man. I would have never thought.
Is it?
Don't panic.
No, I just this is not what I expect out of my bingo card for the day. But hey,
I just bought the book. How good is it?
Oh, it's a must read.
Incredible. Yeah, if you can get the ultimate Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy, is a compendium of the Hitchhiker Guide, the restaurant at the end of the universe, so long, and thanks for all the fish. And I'm missing a book. It's 4 books, but I'm missing one.
Yeah, I bought
Well,
the
is the
compilation. The other one was one about.
yeah, it's
your volume
basically
is low, Fenrir. I'm gonna try
yeah.
to boost you up if I can.
Basically, the ultimate is the 4 book trilogy. And yes, it was called the 4 book trilogy for a long time because it was 4 books and it was a trilogy. And then they got another book in the trilogy. So now it's 5 books in the trilogy. It was Douglas Adams. What did you expect?
I hear it's a comedy. Are the jokes pretty good?
It's incredible, man. Okay, the book begins like this. The guy is getting out of bed, just about to brush his teeth and everything, and he sees through the window and thinks, yellow. Then he starts his morning, everything, dressing up, and he still thinks yellow. He was thinking yellow because there was a huge yellow bulldozer outside of his home ready to turn it to destroy it. And the guy just, at the moment when he realizes that his life and everything he owns is in peril, goes and lay in front of the bulldozer until a guy that is from outer space comes and goes like, you know what? Earth is about to be destroyed. Let's get a drink.
That's kind of funny in a way.
Dude,
Cathartic way.
it's one of the best books for comedy that you can ever read. If you like Monty Python, think about it as written Monty Python in space.
Well, I do like Monty Python, especially the Holy Grail, but
Dude, it will be in your alleyway completely. You will love the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy. Avoid the newer movie, the one that they did in 2000 something, is badly made, but has some things that actually work, like Marvin the Paranoid Android. But if you don't like reading, go to the radio shows.
I
The
love reading.
original radio shows are incredible. By the way, were written by Douglas Adams, the guy that wrote the book. So
it's perfect then.
yeah,
How do I
the
sound?
guy was working on Hitchhiker and in Doctor Who at the same time.
Cool.
By the way, chat,
Crossovers ever?
for all 20 of you in the chat, which thank you, by the way, for being here. I'm having issues with trying to get Rumble to function. Obviously, this is a new stream platform. I will make sure that no matter what, we have it all down next week. Now that we've gotten our feet wet, the Rumble side will definitely be straightened out. It's clear that there has to be a few extra steps, and obviously, going from one streaming platform to another is a lot of change, and it's clear that there's still change I need to learn here, and I could focus on that continually. I thought I had it all set up. Turns out there's a little bit more to it, so I was wrong. So I do apologize for that. For all the people who would like to be in there and Rumble, I get it. I'll make sure I have it sorted out for next week. That I promise. But guys, we have a Hellboy comic to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. There's that skyrocketing enthusiasm. So, you know what? I'm gonna let the gentleman who know the Hellboy, I said the Hellboy, the best, kick the show off. We'll start off with the guy who pitched the idea, Mr. Caster. I'm gonna upload the page for Seed of Destruction number 1. So go ahead and get shooting though.
Well, one of the first things that really stands out with Hellboy when you look at it before anything else, and that's easily by far the art of Mike Mignola. Like
Yeah.
his style, his use of the shadows, the blacks are the first thing that always stand out with the character, no matter what you see. He's a guy who just wanted to draw monsters, and it's a book that just lets him go ahead and do that, where he gets to go crazy with this. The guy's art is sort of a matter of in a way, he uses the blacks to kind of be just as much in a way a defining element of what the characters' costumes are.
It's like an infinite cartoonish nightmare.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Oh, Neil, by the way, that is a book I have been pitching for a minute to get on here. Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe we could do it in December. Maybe we can finally do it because Caster, I can vouch for Caster. He did mention, I think, as far back as May or June, even.
It has been on the list for quite a while.
Yes, it has been. So we definitely need to get on it. We do need to get on it. So let's just say stay optimistic. And I would say count on sooner than later on that one, Neil. Just for you, bud. Just for you. Let me bring that screen back right back up here. I like this screen here. It looks good. It looks nice. What a striking cover. The cover that started it all from Mike Mignola. Look at that cover.
It screams power.
It does
Lead
scream
me.
power. And look at the old like black and white artwork here too. Like hot damn.
With the religious artwork, it's just perfect.
Okay, I will say this first issue, the religious artwork is not so much present as in following issues. Religion takes a huge place in Hellboy.
Yes. Oh,
I mean, it's expected. It's Hellboy.
It's sort of a matter of where Lovecraft is coming through a lot more with this particular story, because this really seems like it's really beckoning the sort of Innsmouth ideas that he would have had of just these frog monsters kind of coming through and kind of playing upon just these amphibians and fishmen aesthetics with characters like Abe. This is kind of like what I was saying here about the shadows, where he's using the shadows just as much to kind of help define what the character looks like. And sure, that can be very true with black and white, but this is just true for whenever he does color too.
Mm-hmm.
I like this color a lot.
He kind of takes in a lot of ways it seems like he's almost kind of flying in the face of what we would come to expect for your more traditional sort of comics, comic art. There's a bit of a kind of some similar ways to what I've said with Transformers. There's sort of a kind of a different era, urban graffiti kind of aesthetic to the way he draws.
No, I like this style. I remember when we did the Hellboy Christmas comic, last winter. At first, it took me some getting used to, but once I got used to it, I was all in on the story. I was all in, and once you're in, man, like you realize, oh, this style really fits this book. It's definitely a different style, more acquired, definitely of a finesse, if you will. It's great though, and it's colorful, even though it's a very dark story. I love how colorful it is, because sometimes when something gets dark, all color just goes out the window. This story's got a lot of color to it, even though it's very dark. I like that contrast.
And one of the other things that really stands out with the way he does, with the way Mike Mignola does the art here, it's there's no blending of colors. Everything is just a solid color and black.
I love it that way. I absolutely love it this way. And I had no idea like what kind of story we're gonna get here. So I was just like, okay, we're getting this kind of story here. We got some history going on, and obviously we got some really dark spirits that were going on. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be one of those stories where this connects to past and present. And oh boy, was there a past and present connection? I did not know he was born with that arm. I was surprised at that. I was like, bro, what? He was born with that shite? Okay, that is wild.
Okay, let me say this. He was not born with that arm.
Okay,
That arm
correct
was
me.
given to him before he was cast to Earth.
Okay.
Well, sure, but that's also a bit of lore that comes much later. But for
Yeah.
all intents and purposes, for the audience to
I
know,
haven't read it yet.
just-
I haven't read, so I don't know that.
as far as the audience knows, and anyone who's picking this up, this is the first issue. He's just kind of this demon monkey who has a big giant stone fist.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
Where have I heard
go ahead,
that?
Fender.
No, that demon monkey concept. I've heard it somewhere before. There's an
Dragon
anime
Ball?
like that.
Dragon Ball?
Perhaps. I think it's too easy. There was some Devil Man? No, that was the same thing.
Devil man, devil man. That's his Rob Zombie. It's a Rob Zombie song.
Yep.
And okay, I can't. It's been probably about maybe 20 years since I've seen the Hellboy movie, so I can't remember how faithful or not faithful the movie was to the Dark Horse comics. But I didn't know he had a adopted dad. I don't want to say adopted dad. I was like, okay, very interesting here. And there's this once again. There's this Nazi element too. Was this stuff in the movie? I can't remember. At all.
Yes.
Some of the elements here with
Some of the stuff made it.
with the father's death is kind of worked in. In fact, one of the figures that we saw with those German occult scientists sort of came up within that movie, but they kind of took it and they didn't do a direct adaptation of that story or anything, but there's enough elements there to see like what they were all pulling from, and that's a lot of this particular story.
Okay, that makes sense. It's okay. More of these, dude. When you're mentioning the color thing right here, it's just straight white. And when there's different areas of the snow that don't need to look as white, where it's more of like the snow, but in the sense of shadow, well, then you can alter the color then, and that's fine. But when it's flat surface where you're walking at, it's gonna be white. And I like that they did that here with these pages. I was like, yeah, damn, Caster absolutely nailed it with that, because that is pretty much how you would see it in those types of situations. Absolutely. I will say also, Mike Mignola and set designs. Holy crap. He has a spook to all this stuff. You're like, wow, what ritual stuff was like conjured up that all these things come from, because his designs are freaking spooky and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. And again, a lot of this is coming from H.P. Lovecraft. This
Mhm.
is, he's drawing on a lot of that interest, that occult imagery, all the, beyond our world ideas of the elder gods and the outsiders.
Oh, look at that page. And once again, just that flat purple. Dude. Oh my goodness.
It's minimalistic, and it's an opportunity to have the story just really focus in and hone on them. Right now with these two, with the father, oh god, doubled over, struggling to make sense of what happened with his life, what with the events of what had happened. None of the rest of the world, none of that room matters, because he's not entirely sure of what happened to him, and how he even escaped the cold north of the Arctic Circle, and to sort of wind up on the boat. It's like it's all blurs, it's all hazes, and he's trying to piece it all together. He just knows that he had to call out to his son.
Dude, no, I saw these pages and I'm like, dude, what a way to make frogs intimidating. That's another thing here, was the frogs. I'm like, bro, what? You might frogs.
This guy has a way to make everything intimidating.
I was like, bro. Good night, Penny. Thanks for being here.
Take care.
Perhaps we judge the French too harshly.
No, we never have.
Oh,
Well,
fucking, like nope.
it's a comic about frogs, so yeah, French.
But and look what they did, dude. I was like, bro, were they getting this thing like the chicken pox of 1998 or something? Like, what is going on here?
It's like they're playing up the suction cups of like an octopus, which again is going into those Lovecraft vibes.
Neil has a great comment here. He said how he loves how Magnolia depicts backgrounds and the simple, never busy. He's not when he's making art, he's definitely a guy who's letting the story flow. He's not really thinking about like poster worthy shots, which I love those and I'm all about that. But the thing is, for these types of stories, he just lets the story flow. Oh man, hey, five Pico says he's not feeling. Hey man, go get some rest, bud. Have yourself a better night, okay? Thanks for being here while you could, and hopefully you get better.
Take care, man.
For real.
Yeah.
But dude, look at all this stuff here, man. Really, it really is a less is more style. But dude, I love his action. Holy crap, his action. Whoo! I felt like I could hear the music and I could feel the tension of this fight as it was moving and flowing page for page. I was like, bro, he is awesome with action. I love his sequences for action.
There's something really important about action. In comics, you normally get just the raw action. You just get the punches and that's it. But Hellboy is a character that is way more cerebral that you will normally give. That's why at the beginning he explains that when he gets angry, he blacks out and then the violence starts. But normally he's trying to think, he's trying to act in a way that reduces the damage and reduces the chances of something going really wrong, because some of the beings that he fights are beings that if you basically explode them, you just released a cloud of evilness around the world. You need to seal it. You need to do something else. So raw violence is not as effective as you will normally believe. That's why in every panel when he's fighting and he's conscious, you see his thought process and you see how he's analyzing the fight. He's analyzing everything around him. He's trying to get into the best position possible, and he's explaining that to you because he's explaining that to himself. And you get this methodical and slow paced action that at the same time that you get all the galore and the glorious art, you are getting just these small bits of understanding. And it's not only understanding the fight, it's understanding Hellboy. During his fights, you get to see the reality of what he is. He is not a monster, he is not a beast. He's a paranormal investigator, and he's thinking about his investigation every step. That's why he's the best asset that you could ever want to the BPD. Bureau of Paranormal. BPRD.
PPRD.
Yeah, sometimes I'm BDP, BPRD. So he's the best asset because he understands how to be a monster. He understands about monsters, and he's stupidly, insanely intelligent and thoughtful.
Vince, violence is not the answer. Violence is not the answer. It's a question, and the answer is yes.
Yeah. So when he's going toe to toe against this reptile-like creature, I like the way Magnolia draws this thing as just a reptilian creature that happens to have arms and legs. Because nowadays, if this is the type of thing that would come out with a different artist, it would have had scales, maybe even had plates of armor on its skin, graphs, maybe even tattoos. This really feels like what if I had to go into like an imagined fantasy land and a reptilian creature just had arms and legs, or in this case, sorry, amphibian. this is how it should be, not where it has all these insanely unnecessary details that it doesn't need.
Exactly. It has just enough details to be able to give you the gist of what's going on. Like, yeah, it's got bumps and warts all over it. You don't need to see like every little hair that may or may not be there.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that frog. Look how cute he is.
And
Hang out, little cute
yet that frog is a sign that bad things are about to happen. That innocent looking frog is a
Hey.
sign. It's a warning.
That frog and Nana.
Yeah, and these are creepy pages right here, man, because it's, I'm just like, well, she's just waiting. Okay. And then it gets into this letter here. I was just like, bro, what? What?
They're a bunch of weirdos, and we should probably be cautious. The funny thing is, this is coming out. This was coming out in what 93, roughly in the early 90s. This is a book that was coming out with sort of at that peak of the Nazi occultism idea that was in media. Because I mean, you had like Indiana Jones had the decade before, and so it was just this idea. It was all over,
And the actual German cults on the news. It was a
Exactly.
crazy time.
Let's get to another great cover here of issue 2 of the Sucker. All right, where are we? Here we go. Seed of Destruction issue 2. Outstanding cover right here as he's been freaking wrapped by the freaking octo creature right here. This is like some, I feel like this is some H.P. Lovecraft influence here going on with Mignola's designs for the creature. I feel like he really,
absolutely.
loved his Lovecraft right here.
The Ogru Yahat is basically the ancient gods that are described on the myth of Cthulhu.
Okay.
So Cthulhu is only the voice, he is the herald, he is the guy that brings us the message of these beings. But these beings are weirder and more chaotic than you could ever imagine. And yeah, the portrayal is really good.
The book itself starts with a dedication, and two names stick out that are very particular for H.P. Lovecraft and Jack Kirby.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see. He's definitely like when he has his colors for the Kirby, I can see for the colors with Kirby, and then when it comes to his hideous creatures that are look very like hideous, I'm like, yep, okay, that's definitely gotta be the Lovecraftian influence, creeping in. Oh, I love it.
Well, for the Yahat, he uses a lot of Kirby crackling, by the way.
Yep. Well, I mean, also he is a fan of Kirby, who was big on monsters in the 50s at Marvel.
That's true. That's true. That's a very good point, Caster. And look at his house. Well built, but it's sinking. It's sinking into the ground. It doesn't have much, but it looks nice. I'll say that one. And it looks like a creepy haunted house, like something from like the Addams Family. I really like that house. Definitely reeks of old horror movie house. That's for sure. And I didn't expect this story to go the direction it did with this conversation. It feels like there's a swarm of unsettlingness in this conversation. And I'm like, okay, there's something about this feels very uneasy. And surely enough, there was more to her than what we saw with her because she had someone waiting on the side.
Well, I mean, not only that, we're thrown in right away with being introduced to two of Hellboy's other teammates. We're meeting Abe and Liz,
Mm-hmm.
and we're seeing that like the Bureau has been collecting all these kind of weirdos.
You will lick the frog and be happy. In Mike Barron's recent Florida Man versus Hogzilla, there's a particular let's just say side plot that involves his character Gary Duba, that involves him in licking frogs, and there's a particular reason for it, but it luckily has nothing to do with the World Economic Forum. But it's like, you will lick the frog and be happy. Klaus Schwab, probably, because it would be. All right, go ahead, Pablo. Go ahead, take this one.
Okay, if you know, Hellboy is one of my favorites. Is exactly as I said before, a methodical view of something greater. Hellboy is really interesting to look because he is a monster. He is the definition of a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And he is not trying to be a good guy completely. He is a monster that deals with the monsters that humans are not sufficiently capable or don't even care about to handle. And that that's how you get into, for example, in the first issue, all the mysticism around. He is explaining it to you because he's an expert. He knows about these monsters, or at least about the occultism that comes with these monsters. So he's telling you about the process. He's telling you about everything. He's explaining things that happen in his previous stories, and this is the first story. So obviously, some things from a one shot that came before,
Mm-hmm.
and some things that you will not see until 10 years later when the one shot gets released. But he's already explaining about the gun that Torch of Liberty gave him. He still haven't explained exactly what the bullets contain. The bullets contain from garlic to silver from sacred crosses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Basically, the best mix of everything to kill any dumbass in the magical world.
Exactly. But he doesn't shoot at all if possible because there's some negotiations that you can do with monsters. In this
Mm-hmm.
case, the first monster that he meets is just a monster without a mind. It's a fraud.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, it does seem like we're talking a little bit around the comic and not about the comic
Oh,
itself.
okay. Uh,
Just to
I
give a
think
little
it's fine if
pushback.
he talks around that. I mean, I mean, so whatever you want to go for. I mean, especially since for all we know, we might have someone who might not be familiar with it in the chat. So,
I
Right.
think the best way that I can talk about the comic is reading this page. Through the ancient slumber, I penetrated and saw as if with the Sadhu helm's own eyes the void, and then impressionate forms of the seven beasts, and you see basically just rocks in space,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see the Kirby crackling with the rocks in space, and you feel as something terrible is there without seeing anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Same goes with the shadows. You were talking about the shadows. The shadows are normally a way to present monsters. In this, you are seeing Rasputin coming out of the shadows just
Mm-hmm.
as a blue figure. In every single panel, when a monster shows, it shows from the shadows. It shows from a point where you cannot really tell. That's the management of fear inside of this comic,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
There's
he's just experimenting. Then it gets better.
there's almost a kind of Scooby Doo sort of vibe to it as we're getting into this. Like, oh, they're gonna go stay at the old haunted mansion and kind of, check things out, gang.
Yeah.
Like,
If
let's
you
go. Like, we gotta go in there, Scoob.
if you
Yeah.
noticed, normally you will get really over the top gratuitous images of the monsters.
mm-hmm.
You had only a couple of panels where you saw the frog, and you never really get to see any other monster completely because they are hidden. You need to fear what you don't see, and that's exactly the management of fear in this comic and in Hellboy in general. You need to fear what you don't see. You need
And that's a great
when
point.
yeah
It's a great point
uh,
about fear. And I'm sorry to drift off. That's a great point about fear, and that brings up to a lot of horror stories today. They lost that factor of the fear of the unknown. Now
exactly.
everything just has to be known.
Look at this panel with Abe in the panel. Abe is a monster. Abe is also a monster, right? And because he's a monster, you don't really get to see any of the features from the get-go. Everything is hidden. He is using a costume, and when he is not using the costume and he starts removing the costume, he's a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
You
I mean, even with the way he's obscured, everything covered up. In a way, it is another form of shadows to completely hide away who he is.
exactly, and it's that play between noir and terror. Noir don't really come with terror attached.
Mhm.
Normally, you will get detective stories like this one. This is a detective story, but are just slow and nothing else. Here, you also get the monster from the same shadows that the North uses to amplify the atmosphere,
Mhm.
the feeling of loneliness and decay.
Mhm.
It gets transferred as a way to present the monsters.
Mhm.
That's the
So,
genius.
Mr. Stephen M. Kell asks you, would you say that he's an anti-hero?
No,
I
no,
didn't
no,
get it. I
no.
was gonna say I didn't get that either. I thought I feel like he's a genuine hero that is put into really dark situations. And he's
Hellboy,
still trying to do the right thing about it, not trying to be a gray area obsessor about it.
Hellboy was raised as a Catholic and as a protector.
Mm-hmm.
That's he sees everything from that point of view. That's what Broom teach him. So he actually believes in protecting the innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Just so happens that a lot of the magical creatures that exist are innocent. Humans don't really cooperate or work with them because their ways are completely different because they are magical. They don't depend on technology and this stupid matter. They can use the universe at their will, like fairies, like gnomes. All those creatures have a society or had most fairies are almost gone, gnomes are almost gone also in this era, but they have ways to them. They have traditions. They have different outlooks on everything. Maybe for a human, something a cross made of silver is something good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a fairy, it's absolutely terrifying because that silver is poison to you.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you touch it, you will start to feel how your skin and your flesh start boiling.
Mm-hmm.
So what humans do everywhere, adding all this mysticism to the world, is destroying the mysticism of the world, and that's why they are on a fight with humans. Hellboy understands that because he's a monster.
Takes one to
He's
know one. It
yeah,
takes one to know one. I love the translation right here into the monster right here. I was like, bro, the
yeah.
stages of that are freaking awesome. It
Did
feels like a very natural transition, how I'd imagine it playing out in like a show or a movie.
yeah. Did you notice how they describe in the issue Liz?
Say that again. Sorry.
When they describe Liz on the issue,
Mm-hmm.
they are talking not about how she is, the kind of person that she is. They are
Mm-hmm.
describing the events that made her the woman that killed her family, and then the way that she was experimented on
Mm-hmm.
and transformed into an asset for the BPRD, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They are not really telling you about that she likes this and her hobbies are that and she is a nothing of that matters. For the BPRD, she is a monster. She's a human,
Mm-hmm.
but she is a monster,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is that a sterile presentation of everything that gives you that separation that is good enough to bring you to a point where you feel disconnected, even though you are talking about a human. And using that, Magnola actually gets you into the mind of the monster and gets you to empathize with the monster
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because the humans are so sterile that when you present a monster equally as sterile, the only thing that changes is motivations. And motivations are key.
Oh, absolutely. And Neil, thanks for being here, man. Take care. Have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. Sorry, I saw you were saying in the chat, oh, you're enjoying Space Ghost. Maybe Castle will say something about it later. So catch the rest of the show on replay. All right. Once again, Mike Mignola does another page, several pages in this issue where he delivers another great choreography of action sequences. And I love how freaking big his creatures look, even though they're not like supposed to look like celestials, like super giganticized. But for creatures of their typical stature, it fits, and they freaking look intimidating. And this thing looks really rough around the edges, and those pupilless eyes, dude.
Oh, the eyes are incredible. If you have
eyes.
seen the way that Magnolia uses the eyes, are basically lights. It's not like they are seeing anything. It's just lights, and that works perfectly for the monsters because the combination of shadows and just seeing the eye in the shadow gets you everything you need about it to fear. There's I don't remember exactly what number of page, but when Saduhem is almost released to this realm, and the frog is just sitting in a corner, in shadows, and you just see the two orange lights that are contrasting with the greenish blue of everything else and with the dark of the shadows, and it feels oppressive. It feels intimidating, even though that's not the biggest monster there. Because, again, Saduhem is released. So one of the big monsters is there. It's just these tentacles that you cannot understand and these eyes everywhere that you cannot understand. Is something terrifying but impossible to grasp. And then you see the frog, and the frog is fucking terrifying.
It's crazy to think we had a story where frogs were terrifying. Like when obviously Hellboy's having this conversation, he hears about the frogs. Like, hold on, what? Frogs? Get out of there! I was like, oh man, he's freaking out about the frogs. Oh, I see.
Actually, if you can go down to those pages, because I want to show something really important, and this is the part. No, go down. Down. Yeah. No worries. Because there's. Oh, we are still way up. We are talking about end of chapter 3.
Oh, okay. They're individual.
They're putting chemicals in the water, making the freaking frogs terrifying.
Look at this. Look at that freaking man. Look at that splash.
And that's just the frog. That's one of the forms that the frog can change into.
Jeez. As it's being drowned in, let me right here.
That panel is incredible, man. Hellboy being dragged through the floors.
Okay,
but I want to get.
It's all you need.
Yeah, I want to get. There's a page where you can see Rasputin.
Oh, thank you for filling that in, Cassie. Yeah, Flatus. I thought I had everything down for what's it called? The new setup for Streamlabs, but turns out there's still more I need to figure out. So I do apologize for that. I know there are people who want to be on that chat or be there to some Rumble rants. I will make sure I have it all straightened out by next week. My buddy, that 70s rock fan, he uses Streamlabs. He's been doing it for a while actually, and he does the dual stream to Rumble as well. So I will make sure I have it down. So once again, I do apologize. So I truly believe it's not Rumble's fault. Actually, I do think it's a me issue, even though I thought I had it all down. But anyways, let me get the page back up. Let me get to issue 3 so we can, transition on over. So issue 3.
I don't know if you got it as separate issues or as issue 1.
I got it as all 4 individual.
Okay, then in chapter 3, right at the end, there's the panels full of Kirby crackling where Rasputin is already trying to do his move. And there's one panel that is the perfect example of what I'm trying to convey.
This thing
Because, let me see.
right here, this ugly beast.
We are not seeing anything.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm retarded.
Oops.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Okay,
Got it.
that's one of the panels. That's the panel where you can see the frog. If you go down, this beast is incredible. But if you see the frog, no, go up a bit. Here in the corner.
Oh, in the corner.
And Rasputin is equally as menacing, just being a shadow, by the way.
Yeah.
But if you go down, then you get into the Kirby crackling. And first you get Rasputin on the Kirby crackling, and the sword is just Kirby crackling, and everything is absolutely incredible, right? Go down a bit, please.
I will. What's up, Critzable? How you doing, man? Thank you for dropping in here, sir.
That panel, you see the Kirby crackling, and there, exactly there, you see the difference. Hellboy, yeah, he's in shadows and everything, but look at Rasputin there.
I like the stare down between them because obviously that's his actual dad, or so he says. I don't know if that ends up being
No,
the
that's the
truth or-
man that conjured him to this realm.
Oh, so that's legitimate. Okay, I wasn't sure if he was like trying to mess with him or something, but either way, dude, I love that tense stare down. And it's interesting because I know there's a lot of when there's a lot of narration, that's when the dialogue really moves. But when the actual characters are speaking, that's when I notice that the words are usually not as filled. It's usually a little bit less of words that are spoken. But when it's narration, it's a little bit more heavier. So it feels like he really is really choosy with his words, and also tries to make each and every single word count.
Oh, Rasputin has. This is not the only plan in motion. The issue is that Rasputin is not the final boss. The final boss has to do with the Excalibur mythos. That's as much as I will say. But yeah, Hellboy is also descendant from the King Arthur. He is a mix between demon and angelic blood.
Oh yeah, the stuff with Baba Yaga, right?
No. Okay, they fucked up doing that fast in the movie Baba Yaga, the crooked man, and trying to do bits of corpse, and went straight up to the ending of the series. That is Hellboy fighting using Excalibur and then ending up in hell. So they compressed everything from Hellboy, including one shots, into one single movie, and it didn't work. I just downloaded Hellboy the Crooked Man. Some people have said to me that it's actually good. Some people have said to me that it's terrible. It's the movie that was released recently this year.
Oh, the new one, yeah.
Hellboy the Crooked Man. I still haven't seen it, so I don't really know how good it is. Some people tell me it's a one-to-one with the Crooked Man. That will be really interesting, but they kinda splurged everything from the get-go, and they had at least 4 to 5 movies full of something to do before getting to Baba Yaga, and then a couple of issues more before getting into the round table. I am trying to if you know what the final baddie is, and you know Arthurian history, you know exactly who.
I mean, yes, Morgana.
God damn it. Okay, I will not around shit anymore.
I was like, it's.
I mean, it was just too obvious, dude. I mean, it was obvious.
I was gonna say, I think we're getting a little into the weeds with getting into the movies.
Yeah. By the way, it's not the creature with the X in the movies. The creature with the X in the movies is a different creature that they created only for the movies based on this, but also adding some things from a creature from book 4 and from one shot. So, and the Hellboy in the movies, in the Del Toro movies, is more comedic. He has a lot of quip, a lot of jokey responses. This Hellboy is absolutely stoic. And that's what's wonderful about him, because he can be presented with an absolute abomination like right here, and he's still calm and thinking methodically, that we haven't seen in a movie yet, because it's a character really difficult to convey, because he has no expressions, and basically he's just there with a fuck you face all the time.
It's so it's a bit of an interesting thing we got going on, because we're bringing in this combination of all the Lovecraft, and we have a bit of a ghost story going on. So it's like he's bringing in a touch of like the Edgar Allan Poe here is what's really kind of coming off with.
Oh yeah,
Although
the
I'm not sure if that was an intentional thing.
Did you notice that? I don't know if you have read all the 12 issues of Hellboy.
I think I've only read the first 2 or 3, but this is going to make me want to go and probably do a revisit.
Okay, do you know that Edgar Allan Poe had an actual novel, a novel that he made because everybody was asking him to do that, and it was a fuck you to everybody that asked him to do that. It's called The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym. At the end of the book, there's this moment when they are trying to get away from a ship that they were, and they are using a raft in the sea. And the clothes part, a figure that is impossible, full of eyes and tentacles and arms and wings, and everything is in motion and is impossible to really understand, appears before them. And then the book continues. If you want to know what happens after, you need to look for Arthur Gordon Pym that lives in this city to ask him whatever happened during his travels. And that's it. That's the end of the story. It's a fuck you.
It's just
The man was a genius.
Yeah, it's the most terrifying moment you could ever imagine, because this is a being from other universe that is part in reality itself, presenting things that are impossible to understand, and yet it feels almost like a human.
I like the old movie flashback alikes. I like it. It makes me feel like I'm going back in time to like an old movie. When I see these things, I'm like, wow, it's almost like old film, but done in the form of comics. I love seeing this. And that's why I mentioned when I say that it's the narration that's a bit heavier, whereas the speaking is a bit lighter. But yeah, right. You can see it's definitely heavier on the narration. So it's kind of like it's an up and down with the words in the comic.
Yeah. And that's part of the genius, because it gets you the horror in a calming manner. It's trying to get you everything in the most composed and relaxed way possible. But you are seeing Rasputin getting in touch with ancient gods. This is terrible. These panels mean the beginning of the destruction of everything. And do you see how calm he is when he sits in the statue?
Yeah. Yeah, also I'm like, how's this? No, never mind. I shouldn't ask how's this man. Of course he is, bro. What the hell, bro? Look at those guys, bro.
See the colors.
Yeah.
Those are calmy colors. It's a color scheme that doesn't use reds, doesn't use blood, doesn't use gore. It's just shadows and pastel colors. And pastel colors are fucking terrifying here.
Yeah, they are. Holy shite, man, are they terrifying?
Right?
Oh, I love it though. I know. I really like the I can tell Mike. It feels like he's the type of guy who really just writes his story out entirely. When once again, it kind of reminds me of Mark Miller, whether it's 3 issues, 4 issues, 5 issues. He just writes stuff and it lets it he lets it be however long it needs to be or however short it needs to be. And he doesn't overstay his welcome with each story. And each story is going to be
Mhm.
Sometimes shorter, sometimes longer, depending on what he was trying to go for at that time. Sometimes you need more to elaborate your point. Sometimes you could do things a bit quicker. And it seems like Mike really doesn't, not only with his words, doesn't waste a word, but also the story and the art is not wasted as well.
Oof,
This story
yeah.
feels really organically paced. And it feels like this really was bestly told as a four issue series and not a five or a three, but four felt perfect for this type of series.
And you get those moments where actually the text is the terrifying part.
Mm-hmm.
Chain in heaven are they, seven in their number, bred in the depths of ocean. Neither male nor female are they. They are the howling wind, which knoweth not mercy, which knoweth not pity. Num hada. And you're
Yeah,
like, God damn, this
it's
guy is going hard.
yeah, he's going hard. But no, he in all seriousness, he is going hard, and it's definitely he's going into some really dark and deep territory with this stuff that was just like, oh boy. Can you imagine if you heard this in like an audiobook in like the 70s or even the 60s? This would have been like considered like a horror book with how spooky it would sound with a really dark narrator.
It needs it
Woo!
needs it needs Vincent Price or Christopher Lee to narrate it.
Oh yes.
And
Yes.
Christopher Lee with that deep booming voice.
Yep.
Mm,
And by the way,
dude.
if you
Nailed
go
it.
down to the fourth chapter, to the death of Rasputin, is
Okay.
one of the best panels in the whole thing. Because one, Rasputin is not really gone. No, if you
No,
go,
he's still alive somewhere in a Russian bar. We all know it.
and the second one, his death is way more peaceful than you will imagine to the end of the big villain.
So Hellboy was supposed to be the seed of destruction then, since he was the seed.
His right arm is a key to unlock the door to open the dimension where the Ogruyahat are
Mm-hmm.
stored,
Mm-hmm.
are sealed.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that he's a composition of different things. He is one of the demons that are supposed to rule the world, where when God uh, basically abandons this realm, right? And he is fully a demon. When he goes completely into his demon form and his
Mm-hmm.
horns grow, he gets a crown made of fire and he gets wings made of fire. And basically, he's a really terrible monster. But he also has the blood of Arthur, he has the
Mm-hmm.
blood of angels, and he has the blessing of angels, of mystic beasts that are so ancient that doesn't really have names, and of the creatures that are still on this realm because they think him as his protector against humans.
You know, one of the nice things with Hellboy in particular is that because it's Dark Horse, because it's not like from one of the big two, you can often enough find like some decent deals on it. Like sadly, it just wrapped up today, but there was a Hellboy bundle that was available over
Mhm.
on Humble Bundle for I think $30. You basically got all the main like volumes of the comic plus a bunch of other side stories that were available for, like I said, $30. And so it's one that's worth going in, basically paying the price for like a nice larger size trade paperback and just getting basically hundreds of pages of story.
Yep. And okay, there's a couple of issues that are not that intense, but
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning, if you noticed, you didn't have a time of just breathing and taking some air.
Mm-hmm.
It just kept going. When they are in the manor and basically they are starting to believe that maybe something wrong is here because the guy that was supposed to be dead is the guy tending to the old lady, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They start to
Man,
get,
that artwork that hits
yeah,
so hard.
right. And look at the Kirby
Literally,
Crackle.
as he's got his fists about to deck that skeleton in the face, it's literally gonna hit hard.
And look at the Kirby Crackle on the cover.
Looks like monsters and creatures,
The
right?
guy
Super
truly was
Yelly.
a lover.
We got to give one more credit to John Byrne on this as well, because
Oh, yeah.
obviously he's not the creator, but it's clear that as far as the writing goes, it seems like he had quite a bit of a heavy hand. And John Byrne obviously is someone who knows how to write characters. And it was worded like this: Mike Mignola, plot and art, John Byrne, script. So my guess is Mike must have laid out the obviously we don't know he did the art, the plot, he laid down the happenings of the story, and John Byrne must have laid down the exact words in this regard.
And
This must
it's
be
incredible.
yeah, and it is good. And what good better of a legend to have on board to do than John Byrne? Dude's freaking awesome. I mean, I don't love everything he did, but the stuff that I do love that he does, I did love that. So especially stuff like a She-Hulk comic, chef's kiss. Sure, it may not be crackly enough, but it's the Magnolia version of being crackly. That's what I'm getting. That's what I was getting, because obviously you can't be full on Jack when at that point it's not the Magnolia comic.
You need to go to later issues, because here we are still on the mortal realm, to say the least. We are still a lot based on Earth and a lot based on not reality, but the closest to reality that you can get with this kind of things. Later, it goes harder. The Kirby Crackle is used to emphasize shadows and to emphasize power. So normally, when you see a lot of Kirby Crackle around in Hellboy, something really crazy is happening, like one of the ancients coming down, or Rasputin dying, or something like that, or Rasputin powering up. But later, you go to a realm that is only Crackle. And I'm not joking. There's a realm that is basically Crackle, the realm.
Dude, nice. Found City of Burns one on Fantasy
Is it heaven?
Best Ever. And
No, it's not.
I've not read his. I'm gonna admit I've not read it. I hear that's great. By the way, welcome to the channel. I've not seen you here before, so enjoy your stay here. Welcome to Clobby's Comic Shop. If you got a drink it, and we'll get this one out to you, since we're an hour and 22 minutes and on our conclusion issue of the first Hellboy story, Sea of Destruction. So this one goes out to Found in the chat. Cheers and beers to you, sir. Thank you.
Salud.
The Angry
Okay.
Gamer's here too. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Angry Gamer?
Yo.
Nice to see you, man. Thank you for being here.
Did you guys notice?
Oh, nice. Scribelight sent you. Yeah, I was on Scribelight's show earlier today. He for his 8-year anniversary. Really good dude. Shout out to Scribelight.
I don't know if you noticed, but the final kill for Rasputin is not Hellboy's.
Oh, let's get to the
It's Abe and Liz.
Dude, look at that. He jammed his fist in.
Oh, yeah, with the grenade. That actually they made in the movie. And I was really stoked to see that scene on the movie, even though it's not the same monster, it's a different monster made only for the movie. It's exactly the same. He gets the grenade in his mouth and he's just fucking die.
I'm gonna fist you in your mouth, and then you're gonna straight up disintegrate.
Yeah.
Ooh, dude, that's a Jim Ross slobber knocker WWF attitude style with that. That is seriously. I can hear Stone Cold Steve Austin watching Hellboy ram his fist on some guy's throat and split up disintegrates. Give me hell yeah.
You know, if you notice there, he's even in the last minutes, he's worrying about the last shreds of humanity in the monster, knowing he was once a man, and kind of playing into that idea of the Catholic the Catholic upbringing the character had. So it's even among with everything said and done, like
Mhm.
there's no one else around who could be wondering about these things. He's fighting this monster. He's still worrying about them.
He's got the Catholic guilt. Catholic guilt.
Yep, pretty much. There's something that I found really interesting. Do you remember in the movie?
Mhm.
They had this scene also here, where basically Rasputin is supposed to be dead. Abe
Mhm.
already stabbed him, Liz burns him, and everything is done right. And they are leaving and thinking, okay, everything is good. And then Hellboy is just, I'm not done here. And
Mhm.
he goes back with the grenades. Yeah, that moment in the movie, without the grenades, happened here because guess what? One of the ancients can possess a body, especially if that body tried to bring him back.
Mhm.
And that's
Mhm.
the second time you get to see Rasputin, but he's just a monster made of flames and, and an skeleton being destroyed slowly while the rage of the ancient ones and everything that Rasputin was trying to do in this world mix into just this entity of hate. And Hellboy is like, you know what? That panel, I love that fucking panel, man. I
Shit.
love, I love so much that fucking
Mhm.
panel.
Mhm.
The
And you
spear
can,
straight to the heart and still with the blade in hand. Freaking awesome.
and is going right through the dragon is absolutely perfect. And you see who threw the spear?
Mhm.
Abe.
Mhm.
The original Rasputin is finally done by Abe and Liz, and then everything that's left is is killed by Hellboy in the
Mhm.
most simple way possible. He's there with his rosary, his crucifix, and his fist.
He fists those bad boys. He straight up gave him a fisting and a half, man. I still was shocked when he freaking. I still was like, I was still taking in the fact that he straight up shoved his fist down some creature's throat and it straight up blew up. That was some fucking wild shit. But dude,
Dude,
bro.
after that, he goes into a thing that is basically a demon,
Uh
and
huh.
he gives him a Catholic beatdown. You can see the rosary on his belt, and you can see his fist going to town. That's it. He is basically an Irishman drunk fighting a demon made out
A
of
leprechaun?
hatred and flame.
Well, I mean, Hellboy says like his trench coat is basically has charms and
Mhm.
talismans from all these different of all these different magical powers, and so it makes sense that he would have something of his faith in
There,
there as
there, there,
well.
there. Go up a bit. Look on his
Yeah,
belt, on
you
his
could see it
leg.
right between his legs.
Yep, I
Yep.
see it. I see it. I see it.
Tell me that's not fucking wonderful. You have Catholic imagery being as violent as it was 300 years ago.
Well, it reminds me of Mark Miller's when he did his conversation with John De La Rose a few days ago. Because I think John said something along those like, "How do you God, what was the word here? How do you? I guess there's something along the lines of how do you come to grips with writing such intense stories while still being a devout Catholic?" And Mark said, "Well, if you go read some of these old stories, early Catholicism, violence has always kind of been there."
Yeah.
In some capacity. And I thought to myself, yeah, I guess he has a point in that regard. And guys who are Catholic, they have conviction. A lot of them fought for what they believed in. And they literally fight. They literally fight for what
Yeah,
they believe in.
some
So
Mostly
saints,
in a drunken bar.
yeah, some saints got into sainthood because they got with some pagan folk or whatever, and basically beat the guy to death until they become saints. And I'm not even joking. That's Catholicism for you. I grew in Catholicism, right?
uh,
So yeah, whenever I was asking, what is it this guy did? Well, he got naked and tried to fight the Pope. Yeah, makes sense.
I remember that story.
Yeah, that actually happened. That dude is. There's a lot
I
of
also remember
stupid.
that I heard the Pope actually fought back.
I think it was something about his family wealth and everything, and the guy just gets naked and tries to fight the Pope because
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
Pope
quite.
actually took himself naked and fought back. God, that's a time to
I
be alive.
I didn't remember that part, but I remember the guy going to the Vatican naked, looking for a fight, and that's wonderful. That's something that people should do more often.
Mhm.
Yeah, there should be a movie about that. But some guy planning to fight the Pope naked, and the Pope just waiting for it.
Oh, talking about Saint movies, we need not in Toxic Tuesdays, but one day we need to do the Saint.
Okay.
Oh, I tried the Val Kilmer movie.
Yeah,
Oh man, I haven't seen that in a long time. I gotta rewatch that one.
it's incredible. It's
Man,
great.
taking me back with that one, dude. I gotta revisit that one. That definitely be something I'm
Yeah.
definitely might be up for doing.
Oh
I
yeah.
won't rule it out. I won't do that. Ugh.
Oh, by the way, they spoil you that Rasputin is not dead in one of the
Mhm.
panels later because it's just Hellboy thinking about what Rasputin said.
Mhm.
But yeah, then you go into the not ancient, well, Second World War science lab, and you
Mhm.
see there. Those are the guys that were fighting with Torch of Liberty and the Blue Lobster in other parts of the Dark Horse comics realm, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you want to go really deep, you can read all the crazy stories in the background that happened during World War II before Hellboy.
Mhm. Mhm.
But here's the important thing: these are the guys that were so interesting for the story that they decided to rush them into the first movie, while they had three movies still of Nazis coming back to life. Is
Mhm.
if they followed the ending of the stories. And this is the first batch of Nazis: the crazy lady, the undead, and the sadistic fuck. And I will let you guess which is which.
That's a take your pick, man.
I mean, they're German, so it's pretty hard to figure out.
Yeah, right. That's a take your pick on that
Uh,
one.
by the way, did you guys read to the end? At the end, there's the one shot that was supposed to go before Hellboy
I
that
did
ended
not.
up. Yeah, okay. You need to read that because you get a fight between some of the Nazis and Hellboy
Mm-hmm.
that is not canon, never really happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was a one shot that was supposed to come out, but you
Mm-hmm.
get a bit of what the Nazis are doing still because they are still operational up to the end of Hellboy. And also, you get the fight with the monster dog. The monster dog is absolutely amazing.
So, Caster, do you have any final thoughts you want to say on Seed of Destruction before we transition on over? And I'll let you guys go across the board with it, unless Pablo, you got anything else to add
Oh
after
no! At this
Caster.
point, I'm just gushing about the the Hellboy franchise. So yeah, please feel free to stop me.
Yeah, so Seed of Destruction does a great job of setting up you. It gives you an idea of who the characters are, and you want to know more. The art is certainly addicting. You want to kind of keep going in,
Mm-hmm.
keep checking it out. You're like, all right, well, we just saw him defeat defeat Rasputin, but now we've got these other three being summoned. So it's like, well, I want to go. I want to know what's going on with the gas mask man, and like what's up with you know Helga there.
Are you saying that basically these guys are going into Hellboy 3, the search for Rasputin?
Absolutely.
A Star Trek joke. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Let's Hellboy 2, The Wrath of Himmler.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Fenrir.
Mm. Art was great, freaking hilarious stuff if you stop for a second and actually analyze it. And the context between it all, the spiritual context of it all, it's just very well done. Truly a beautiful masterpiece of both art and writing. And I gotta sadly say, boys, I gotta leave for the moment.
Oh, shit.
No.
I gotta leave right now.
No, you are staying.
So, okay.
There you go. Perfect. I didn't think it will work, but hey, life is good.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. For me, I thought the story had incredible art. Story was great. Once again, I can definitely smell a lot of Mignola's influences in the story. Yes, I use the word smell. Um, Once again, the flow of the story was perfect. It really was perfect. It was a really perfectly flowed story. I definitely can see why Hellboy has such a very dedicated fan base. Definitely a great accessible introduction to the character, and I feel like it gave you some details that are sprinkled there, but still left that air of mystery to say, hey, if you like what you saw, no, we're gonna do more if you like this. And hopefully you'll get to find out more details later on in other such volumes. Once again, though, the art was great, and we had some incredible action. I really love the action. Once again, Mignola has the action down. Absolutely love the action in this series. And once again, the themes in this stuff is very deep. Very, very, very deep.
Oh yeah.
And I could see once again where the emotional attachment comes for many a readers. Many a readers.
And there's a couple of issues later where you get something that I think should be played more into stories. Catholic shame.
Mm-hmm.
The deep sensation of shame that every Catholic has
Mm-hmm.
because of the reality that life is sin. And
Mm-hmm.
that is presented in an issue in a way that you feel for Hellboy. You actually feel for his soul.
I didn't know too he was technically always Hellboy. That kind of blew my mind. I forgot to mention it earlier when we talk about I think the first or second issues. It's one of those things where he always was Hellboy. And even the granny referred to him at one point as Mr. Boy.
Yeah, a lot of people actually say Mr. Boy during the issues.
I love it. I absolutely
Wait,
love
we
it.
lost Castor.
He'll be back.
Okay.
He'll be
Oh
back.
god damn!
He always returns.
I get into Twitter. The first thing that I see, Gary went to Peru just to get pineapple pizza. You know
course
that
he
you
did.
had the best chilies in the world there, and you had access to some of the craziest meats. Do a koi pizza. Trust me, it sounds terrible because it's Guinea pig pizza. It works. It just works. And cuy, Guinea pig, is one of the national dishes for Peru and Ecuador. We also eat Guinea pig. It's a weird experience. Poor little guy is just there in the plate with his horrified face. Maybe that's why I like Hellboy so much.
Mm-hmm.
Latin American cuisine look
Mm-hmm.
like Mignola's art. I'm not even joking.
No, I believe you. I believe you, man. I believe you. And
But
we got Caster who's back. What happened, Caster?
I'm not used to the current setup, so I pushed the
yeah,
wrong
It's
button.
okay. I've made a ton of errors on this stream already, and being my first time, I'm like, bro, pineapple, don't let Gary back in the kitchen.
maybe you
I
should think
forgive him.
about invading Peru now.
I forgive Gary.
Casualties like pineapple pizza, okay.
Mhm.
Let's admit it. The US wanted to invade Peru
Mm-hmm.
for like 10 years. Then they decided it's too much hassle and they just gave up.
So, guys,
They took one look and said, "What's the point?"
Yeah. It
um,
was, what
good.
are we doing? Getting an army of llamas? Yeah, nah, not worth it.
What are we really going to get out of this?
So, I was thinking for next week, I had a quick 2-issue miniseries I was eyeing at that would be a fun, spooky story to tell. Okay, now follow me here on this one. Okay, the writer is Mike Barron, the artist is Kelly Jones, and this is their 2-issue Dead Man series.
Oh.
Yes, they did a Dead Man series, and they did more together. But I was looking at this one specific mini series called Dead Man: Love After Death. Mike Barron writer, Kelly Jones art, and we all know what Kelly Jones can do, like straight up. And of course, we all know what Mike Barron can do. But dude, I'll say it this quick two issue mini, it's like 30, 40 pages each. I feel like, and this is, trust me, Kelly Jones has some horrific art on this shit. I think this would be a fun series we can spend the first hour talk about next week before we get into, I guess you could say, our daily stuff. But man, I feel like that would be a cool class. And yet, we've really not done much DC. Dead Man is DC. I think that would be a cool, unique way to bring in some DC to Clobby's comic shop. So, what do you guys say about some Dead Man for next week?
I mean, also, if we are getting more DC, we should get Lobo.
Oh, we'll get that. We'll get to Lobo. I still want to do some Flash. I still want to do some Green Lantern, some Superman. Like, dude, there's so much DC.
May I
Maybe for Lobo we could talk about Lobo's paramilitary Christmas special.
Oh, we already did.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Oh, did
we already did that.
Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
we can do it again.
We've done some single issues, but yeah, we have yet to do like a.
What if we bring out Lobo versus God?
That actually exists, I believe.
Yeah, it does. I read it. Pretty good stuff.
Okay, I'm interested. That's the sad part. I'm really interested.
Yeah, you should definitely read it. You won't regret it.
Reaper. Oh, yeah.
By the way, since we are going back into DC, may I interest you guys in some real Green Lantern?
Go on.
I'm just saying, maybe we should get the original first Green Lantern book.
Oh wow!
When Green Lantern had magical powers, and life was good.
And Alan Scott was the Green Lantern, and it was a golden age of heroes.
Yeah,
good stuff.
And the original Alan Scott, because then they did the new Alan Scott that is appearing even in the newer issues. Yeah, it's not the real Alan Scott. The real Alan Scott is from 1941.
What's up, John Edgar? How you doing, man? Thanks for dropping in. I'd see we should. Maybe we could do that in the month of November. If not, maybe November, January. I think we could definitely sandwich that in. That one single isolated issue. I think it's possible. Maybe we could do it for the first week of November. Maybe I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, volume one is
isolated issue.
The first issue is like 20 pages.
Yeah. Why don't we just do it for the first week in November?
Yeah. I will love it, man. I need to get more people into Alan Scott.
Yeah, we don't talk about that one guy who did what he did with Alan Scott. That stuff does not exist. That didn't happen. Never to be seen or heard from again.
Was wrong, didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen. We don't need that stuff. Come on, man. Just no. No. I already forgot the writer's name. That's how forgotten he is to me. So either way though, Dead Man, I'm excited about that. Seriously, I'm excited about doing Dead Man. Love After Death. I've already read the first issue. You guys are gonna love this. This stuff it's a nice small introspective story, and it's got some really crazy artwork. That's like, okay, yeah, Kelly Jones is meant to be on this stuff. But anyways, so obviously next week, guys, this is your 1 week reminder. Dead Man, Love After Death. We'll spend the first hour and 15 talking about it. But we're gonna look at some issues to come next week from the shops. And we're kicking off with Flash Gordon #3.
Okay, for the cover, aren't they going a little bit fast?
Pretty
It's
much,
like they're
yeah.
going to a bit of the John Carter sort of elements.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's coming to mind for me, anyway.
Yeah, but if you are going to final bosses, don't rush that much. It's issue 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, true, but haven't we effectively held off on even showing Ming up until now?
True. Well, in the movie, it was a different Ming.
Right. Well, I mean, we in the movie we had a Ming who looked like Loki.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From Loki's Mornings of Mischief. But I mean, it's just been a matter of anyone who's been dealing with Flash Gordon has been trying to get away from sort of the Fu Manchu archetype, and so now Ming just is green.
They should have kept it the old way.
At least make
so
him
much
blue
better.
so I can do a joke about it.
Just pink, man.
Exactly.
All I'm gonna say is I absolutely enjoyed these first 2 issues of Flash Gordon. I thought they were freaking awesome. Flash Gordon's a badass. Well, Conrad has great art in here. I'm excited about this. And maybe that's just me, but I'm standing right by that. I really, really enjoyed these comics, and I can't wait for issue 3. Did you read the first 2, Caster?
I believe I have. I know I read the first one, and then I read that quarterly with the Hawkman.
Mm-hmm.
Like my stack of comics has been pretty bad. It's been a lot of overtime this past week.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, they changed your itinerary, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure I'll find some free time to read some comics. I know I've got about a week of vacation coming up.
Nice.
But yeah, no, Flash Gordon #3 is absolutely on my pull list. This is one I'm looking forward to getting a chance to read, and I think this is one that's worth checking out for people, especially because we are in the age of the return of the pulp characters and going back to a lot of more of these classic established characters that deserve a little time and effort for themselves. But with that in mind, speak about going back. My next highlight I want to show off to everyone is Medieval Spawn #1.
Oh,
Medieval Spawn. Wow, that is fascinating. Medieval.
Okay, is an ancient holder of the curse or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
This is a much earlier Spawn. And mind you, they're going all out with all the extra Spawn stuff, because there's the Scorched is still going on. We have, I think Gunslinger Spawn is still coming out. The Violator has a mini-series where he's fighting a Viking Spawn.
So basically, Spawn keeps spawning?
Yeah, they keep spawning new books.
Nice.
And also, look at that cover, look at that armor. Todd is going to make 5 variant action figures of this.
Dude, no, I'm curious about this one. I really am curious about this one. This could be good. Hopefully, and hopefully it is. It seems like he's added quite a few books lately. In recent times to his Spawn legacy, Todd McFarlane. I know he got Jimmy Palmiotti on the book as well recently. So I'm like, man, he's expanding this universe like crazy huge.
I'm
So
really
with that,
into
I have just one more book I'm going to highlight because I'm a fan of this series, and any time I see that there's a book in it, that I'm going to be making sure I grab it and I want to highlight it, and that is of course Darkstalkers. Which,
Oh,
for anyone out there who doesn't know, Darkstalkers is a Capcom fighting game franchise where instead of having characters such as Ryu and Ken and Guile, we have all our classic horror tropes getting turned into monsters, including, Felicia, one of the greatest cat girls in all of video games, and we
Yep.
have, you know,
Don't
Morgan.
forget the greatest succubus ever.
Like,
Mhm.
I was just getting to that. Morgan, who was the character that introduced Japan to the concept of the succubus.
And a
Mhm.
lot of kids to the concept of tits.
Yes.
Oh,
And
too good.
of course, it wouldn't be an udon book without a few variant covers.
No, of course not.
For some reason, I was thinking, why is not Sakura there? Sakura is not Capcom. She's SNK. But still, Sakura, ikimasu!
Team Darkstalkers #1. This is on my pull list.
Yeah, that's what sells books.
If you're into those Capcom fighting games, this is gonna be one on your list. I mean, there's also another Street Fighter book out as well
No,
next week,
Sakura.
but that wasn't on my list. This is the one I want. If I'm gonna recommend people check out anyone, it's gonna be this one because we get to have some hot, sexy, monster girls fighting. And what can I say? I'm a man of simple taste.
Well, as you should be. That should.
Yeah,
that should
it
be
was Sakura.
standard.
I was right. My brain was right. I was just, yeah. Sakura is the Ryu clone. If you don't know,
Mm.
is the Lady Ryu clone. Is Yeah, if you remember the old Capcom versus SNK and the old Capcom games that had Sakura, she's prepared to avoid flashing you.
Oh, you don't say. You don't say. So, go ahead.
When I had a GameCube, Capcom
Uh-huh.
versus SNK 2
Mm-hmm.
was the best thing that I could ever get to play with my best friend, because before that we were playing exactly the same game on my PS2, and before that we were playing exactly the same game on his Dreamcast, because that game rocks.
Oh, Dreamcast, dude. Dreamcast was rocking, man. Very underrated system. Very short-lived, underrated.
Yeah.
What a time. Short-lived, very tragic that it turned out the way that it did. It had such a short run, and we'll never know. We'll straight up never know. It's really unfortunate. But man, I will not forget
DVD player.
I won't forget the days of Shenmue, man. Shenmue was the way of all life. Nah,
Dude.
Muhammad said he's on a Conan roll. I love it. Don't forget, next week we got Destro and Ultra Mega next week as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. Although I didn't even see Destro show up on my list.
Did it
On
get
my
pushed back
list
a
here.
week? Maybe it got pushed back a week. It could have. Because if it did, boo boo, I gotta find out about those comics. We gotta find out what happened to them. Let's see what's going on. Nope, Destro's still on for next week. Unless you're seeing something different. Let's see, Destro. Let's look at Ultra Mega. Ultra Mega. I got them now. I'm looking at Previews World. Looking to see here because hey there, boo boo. I gotta check these comics. I gotta know. All right, James Heron. All right, we're gonna get some answers into this age-old mystery because it
Just for
should
a
be.
second.
Yep, Ultra Mega's next week. Go ahead.
Beans, for me, it was playing. For my best friend, it was getting absolutely destroyed by infinite combos using my Shiranui. Because my Shiranui in that game is absolutely broken. And I mean it.
Yeah, it's League has it listed for next week, but it didn't pop up on my list.
Okay. Destro number 5, the conclusion for next week. Ultra Mega number 6 is next week. So Ultra Mega is the kaiju story from written and drawn by James Herron. And of course, Prodigy Slaves of Mars number 3 hits as well next week from Mark Miller and Stefano Landini. And if any of you guys in the chat remembers of Jupiter's Legacy from little over half a decade ago, it's coming back for one last round with Jupiter's Legacy finale number 1 next week.
Man,
as
I've been
well.
waiting for this so long.
I can't wait, Fenrir. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. It's about damn time the story's gonna finish. I'm excited to see how it's gonna because I'm trying to imagine how it's gonna end. I can't even imagine how it's going to end.
Yeah,
Well,
me too.
unfortunately, there won't be any Rebel Moon next week.
I was going for that
Oh, come on! You just had to go there with that Rebel Moon crap.
What are you talking about? It's your favorite. It's your favorite.
Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Why? Why? The Rebel Moon. Don't. There's no such thing as good Rebel Moon. It's not a thing.
Well,
It's not,
I'm sorry,
it's
guys.
no-
I need to make a clarification. Rebel Moon is not Nick's favorite. Rebel Moon Funko Pops are.
Oh!
I have so many issues
This
against
is
Funko Pops.
why? Why? Dude, no. Just no. Not absolutely not freaking happening. Just that's unacceptable.
Guys,
He's just a little
Unacceptable.
embarrassed about it.
so
Oh.
sorry for what I'm about to say, but
Go on.
the end of everything that we loved, and I mean Star Wars to Dungeons and Dragons to Magic the Gathering to fucking anime right now, it started because a bunch of a bunch of gentlemen, hipsters, decided to get into things like Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering and all this shit, and they took over and destroyed everything. And Funko Pops is a huge part of that because the fucking shitheads that were collecting
I'm
Funko
sorry, but
Pops
if you buy
without
a
even
Funko
knowing.
Pop, you're basically saying someone's banging your girlfriend.
Dude, the fucking assholes didn't knew about the things that they were buying the Funko Pops of, but they were buying the Funko Pops, making every memorabilia about the Spider-Man, about Hellboy, about Dragon Ball Z, about anything, spiking price like crazy because Funko Pops were in high demand. So every toy and everything was high demand. And then these assholes started, well, maybe you should make this more inclusive. And now we are here. Thank you
Those
very
words
much.
are a death knell.
Sorry.
I freaking hate those bastards.
Well, I mean, the thing is, they became just a cheap go-to gift that people would just buy for people. Like, I've had a number of Funko Pops that were bought for me that were gifts, and for a while, I'm like, I'm kind of obligated to hold on to this, but even that eventually is it's gonna go.
Yeah, I
just-
fucking hate Funko Pop so
I'd just
much. You
sell
have
it.
no idea.
I'd sell it without the other people knowing.
Is such an easy, cheap resort to, oh, hey, so and so is into geek property, insert geek property here, and this is at Walmart. This doesn't require me to really look. It's the easy, cheap way out, and it's.
If you want to give someone a gift but don't know what to give, just give them the money.
Marvel started doing comics just to get Funko Pops of them. And that's why fucking Deadpool became so huge in that era. Because everybody was buying the Funko Pop of Hellboy, of Deadpool. My brain is. I'm angry about Funko Pops if you haven't noticed.
I can tell.
Everybody was buying Deadpool Funko Pops, and it became a thing. And then every single comic was Deadpool because Deadpool needed to be everywhere.
I'm at a point where I kind of hate Deadpool now.
Yeah, we all kind of. The
I
fourth
watched the
wall
movie-
breaking character is kind of becoming a pain in the ass.
I enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm
Yeah.
not going to go out and read a Deadpool comic, but I
Well-
really enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine as a movie.
Oh, that movie is
As a character, like
yeah.
I, I, if I never see another Deadpool, if I never see another Deadpool comic, it will be not long enough.
Yeah.
That's fair, and I don't disagree on that. I don't. I can understand that. Yeah, I have no desire to read a Deadpool comic at all, and it doesn't help that I've been so burnt on the character because all they did in the 2000s is just Deadpool this, Deadpool that, Deadpool this,
Exactly.
Deadpool that, Deadpool this, Deadpool that, Deadpool this. Oh, we all get the picture. We all know the picture, but it's just like, wow, I'm literally get to stay away from the character in the comics for the rest of my natural life
Deadpool
before
was
I
a
recover
parody of Deathstroke. It became
in
more
Spider-Man.
famous than Deathstroke, while
Yeah,
Deathstroke is the really good character, and we are not seeing Deathstroke enough.
yeah, Deathstroke got
He basically
shafted.
exists just to take the piss out of everything he's around, and
Oh, of
there's no
course.
genuineness to it. He's just there to be a joke and make anything he's connected to a joke.
Yeah,
Look at
that
look at
in the
Johnny Storm in the movie.
yeah,
Like,
in the movie works
I
because it's
be,
a joke.
yeah, it's like you look at the movie and it's like the way they just treated Johnny Storm like shit in the movie. Everyone laughed at it and said, "Yeah, no, it's okay because it's in a Deadpool movie."
Well, yeah.
Well,
Also,
I,
that
I I I do see that scene a little differently, and I say this as a major Johnny Storm fan. This was a Johnny Storm who had been once again absolutely gone crazy in a world where he's been there for who knows how long.
yeah, and you can see
Oh, look,
there's
I laughed at it too, but I'm just saying, like, because it's in a Deadpool movie, it's seen as permissible to do these sort of things to those characters.
Oh,
yeah,
I
obviously.
didn't see it from that, and I just saw as he's a guy who's been where he's been for a long time. He probably he like seriously, he probably isn't functioning in the right mindset. When you're in someplace like that long enough, you become crazy,
He
even
was
if you don't
already
want
a
to be.
potty mouth, and that's part
Oh
of the
yeah,
joke.
potty
The other
mouth for
part of the
sure.
joke is that you had that scene on Age of Ultron where Captain America is basically complaining about potty mouth, and then you get everybody believing that this is Captain America, and he goes heavy on the curse words, and you get that shock, and it's actually a good joke. That joke worked perfectly for me, especially at the
Mhm.
end when they have Johnny Storm saying the things that Deadpool said that he said in front of Cassandra Nova. Well, that part is so good because you had that moment of basically acknowledging
Mhm.
that Captain America, as is on the MCU, will be funnier if he was juxtaposed to that Johnny Storm because is the same actor, is completely different ways, and Johnny Storm was already in that road because if you have read Fantastic Four, guy was a potty mouth, guy was an asshole, guy was always looking for confrontation with
Yeah, but
everybody.
he was still also a good guy, Johnny Storm.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
say that. He's still a good guy.
well
I
he's a
mean,
hero.
he wasn't that he was confrontational, but he wasn't like that. He wasn't like Flash Thompson confrontational. He just liked getting into it with Peter a lot. He wanted to be a step ahead of the game over guys like Peter because
With Peter, with
he needed the
everybody.
spotlight on him. Obviously, he did with
Yeah.
Ben because him and Ben were practically brothers. So he wasn't like that bad. It's just he was just more of so often a human level. But when it came to being a hero, he was a hero first and foremost.
Yeah, but I found the mix of everything made the joke work really well for me. The
Mm-hmm.
thing is, as Ironcaster said, is only in a Deadpool movie. If they made that in a Fantastic Four movie, I will be complaining because there's no motivation for Johnny Storm to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
But here, there's enough of a motivation and there's enough of a justification just for the movie that you can go with that and enjoy it. And that's maybe the good part, the best part about the movie is that you can even take the bad parts of the Marvel movies, of the Disney Plus shows and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and just laugh about it.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that movie, if you contemplate everything that was said on the movie from the outside, the movie was basically saying, well, Marvel is fucked.
Well, yeah. Well, it's because they absolutely are. The multiverse is screwed. They brought back Downey Jr. as
And they're gonna
a
keep
not Doctor
Hugh Jackman
Doom,
until he's basically nothing but bone.
and yet they won't bring back Wesley Snipes for Blade. Like everything about it is screwed. Yeah, no, everything. This movie was probably the one last one for at least a few years where they will have notable success out of it.
My theory is still that they knew what was going inside of the studio with Blade. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't know, there was a lot of complaints. The script writers left the project, then the director left the project, then they got new script writers that left the project, and the new director left the project, and then they had the issue with the actor that now is basically getting the movie in the limbo, so they are not making another Blade movie. And that moment when Deadpool is just looking back at the camera after Wesley Snipes said that he's the only Blade that you will ever get,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that was not like we'll see,
I
but
didn't take it as a we'll see
yeah,
either.
it's like, yeah, that other thing is not going, is not happening.
I took that as, well, this will be the last time we get him. And, well, to people who are in the know, there's only one Blade.
Yeah.
I didn't take it as anything more, and I don't think he's ever going to return. But he absolutely, with a good director and story, he should return. But
Do you remember the first movie, The Fight with the Magra?
Blade
The
1,
Magra is the final transformation of the bad guy in the first movie.
Blade 1,
Blade 1, yeah.
yeah,
When
I do.
yeah, the guy is turning into blood and Blade is trying to cut him, but it's not working, and the CGI is terrible, but goddamn, the movie is so good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's an alternate ending for that movie, if you don't know. At the end, instead of going out into a world that is still normal,
Mm-hmm.
Blade and the chick go out of the temple and they see the world is absolutely destroyed and vampires are everywhere. Blade is just like, well, time to work.
Well, sort of. I think sort of one of the biggest fears I have is that they would just go the route of doing like Marvel zombies, but it's Marvel vampires, and then you just get an overrun of we're doing vampires now.
Will be so cool.
Yeah, Doctor Strange and the Mom is an unforgivable send off
yeah.
or send off for the character because he was a support character to a lot of our characters. It wasn't even a sequel to his first movie, it's a sequel to WandaVision. Yeah, you want to talk about a major downgrade from Infinity War to that? Man.
We have TV shows for wine moms who probably don't even care.
And they
don't. I would get rid of everything that they've done since Infinity War.
Yeah,
including
I don't feel
Endgame.
that strongly. I know I liked Endgame. I know I recognize its flaws, but I was still very entertained from a lot of the stuff that happened in there. I did enjoy Spider-Man No Way Home, and I enjoyed the of course, Deadpool and Wolverine.
But
and
how much of the other crap was it worth having to suffer through in order to get to where we're at? Look, I mean, all the character assassination they've done. Look at what they did to Thor.
I haven't watched every single one. I never watched Love and Thunder. I never watched Wakanda Forever. Would I probably feel stronger if I had seen those? Probably. I had saw Eternals once. I saw Black Widow once. I didn't watch what was the show? I didn't finish Moon Knight at all, the show.
It was decent air than most of the shit in Disney Plus right now. And that's saying a lot because it was bad.
You know what I saw early on in Moon Knight I thought was awful. That's why I didn't finish it.
You know, I enjoyed Werewolf by Night for what it was, but that was also just going to be a one-off that they're really probably never going to do much with. It was just, oh look, we gave you guys the giant sized man thing, so yeah, we're good. Maybe in a couple years we'll come back to this for Halloween again, and that's all we'll leave it at.
Yeah, I thought that was fine. I thought the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas thing was cool too. I didn't finish What If. Didn't care to.
Never started.
Yeah, neither.
Don't care about
no,
the
I watched 2
Agatha
episodes.
show. Didn't finish Echo.
Look at
there's
you.
there's a lot of stuff I didn't either watch at all or just straight up didn't finish. And man, I definitely feel like I am better off because of it. But yeah, it's sad what it took to even get to this point. And I did enjoy X-Men 97, even though it's not the MCU. However, it's come out in recent years. I really enjoyed X-Men 97. I thought that was great. Shockingly, that might be the only good season we get out of that. Who knows what they're going to do going forward.
Never saw it.
Yeah, that was great. I really enjoyed that. I was shocked how much I enjoyed it. So imagine that. That was a big surprise for me. I'm trying to think what other things came out that I either watched, did not watch, started but didn't finish.
Guardians 3 had a good...
Didn't watch that.
Yeah, a couple of good moments. I'm still really salty. They fucked up one of the best characters on the whole Marvel universe, and I don't think they have a way to actually fix that. That's the heartbreaking part.
They'll either get it right or they won't, and they'll just keep dragging it on they'll just keep dragging it on and keep trying to make it work until someone comes along that can kind of either make it work or finally pull the plug.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they waited until Thanos was dead to present us with Adam Warlock. And in the Eternal movie, they had Star Fox and Pip, the troll. So we already have everything there set for making an Infinity Gauntlet story, but they already did and they already finished. So why the fuck are they getting Adam Warlock and Star Fox and Pip the Troll?
They make them into jokes.
Exactly. That's my issue. And that's why I say Guardians had a lot of good scenes that I actually enjoy in the vacuum watching. But every single time Adam Warlock is on screen, I fucking get angry.
Rightfully so. Just saying.
But
Yeah. Anyways, to close things out with a positive note, because we gotta do that. It's super necessary. Guys, we have much to look forward to on here. And that's the truth. We got Dead Man next week. I can't wait to talk about some classic Dead Man, classic DC in general. We have Russ Leach on here in a few weeks. We had him on way back when to promote the Shadow Kingdom. He'll be back on here to promote the Atlantean, his original Cull story. I can't wait. And of course, in November, who knows what else we'll cover? Just saying.
Oh, and I'd like to make a moment of peace to give honor to a great BA we lost in this week.
And who would that be?
Oh, the
You
narrator
ever
for
seen an
Dragon Ball.
anime called Doraemon?
Yeah, that happened in Spanish like a year ago. So I was going on Twitter and I'm like, the voice actor for the narration on Dragon Ball is dead, and I'm like, well, duh, I already cried about that. Oh, the English one.
Oh, that. Now the Japanese one died too.
Oh yeah, the Spanish one, the Japanese one, and now the English one. There's the German one, and other one that were the whole series, and the other translations have mixed different people on
They're
the
just
roles
getting
of.
the infinity gems of all the Dragon Ball narrators.
Ah, God,
Yeah, you
dude.
guys.
Okay,
I
if
swear,
you,
this year freaking sucks.
if I think I have already said this, but because a friend of mine got this Crunchyroll account, I decided to watch everything Dragon Ball again. I finished the original Dragon Ball series. I'm at the Cell Saga on Dragon Ball Z, and I'm going through every movie and everything. I'm going to finish Dragon Ball GT before going to Dragon Ball Super. I know it's not
Ooh.
canon. Dragon Ball GT is not canon. It
Mm-hmm.
Dude, for
sucks,
me,
except
GT
for
is
a couple
canon.
of
Super is
episodes.
a shipment,
Yeah, but
It has its moments.
yeah, but
especially
the
the
thing
Dragon
is
arc.
that the Japanese narrator for Dragon Ball was there from episode 1 of Dragon Ball until the end of GT. Every
That's
single episode,
legacy.
every single movie, every time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was absolutely a master of getting you hyped for the next episode. So much that normally I will skip the brief moment at the end where they just show the face downs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
When he's talking about the next battle, I let that part play because it sounds fucking rad. The guy knew how to make everything sound fucking rad. I don't know the guy in English though. The guy in Japanese was the one that I'm talking about. In Spanish, the Latin American translation is glorious. It's legendary. They went ham to the point that they had to explain to people around the building that they
Mm-hmm.
were recording the voices for Dragon Ball because people thought that they were getting killed on the building.
I mean, to be fair, they were down in like Central America,
Oh yeah,
so
Mexico and people screaming and everything. Yeah, but dude, they had to explain the people around that nobody's getting killed. It's Goku screaming. Don't worry about it.
All right,
Seriously, it's
dudes.
so freaking boring. I
It's
just
gonna
want to
be the.
say, rest
Go
in
ahead.
peace, Nobuya Oyama. You did a great job. You were
Oh yeah.
amazing. Thank you for your childhood. Rest. Now let's
Rest.
all put a glass up. Bankai.
Agreed. Rest easy,
Salud.
sir. Thank you for your pop cultural memories and for what you've given us. Gents, this is going to be a part where we call it a night. I got a face plant and recover from this food coma. It's going to be great. I'm going to be back next week. Not only will Streamlabs be a lot more functionable for me, we'll be on Rumble and I'll be a lot more live for you guys. It's going to be diabolical. It's going to be great. And we're going to talk Dead Man next week. So
Nice.
brace yourself for that. Before then, I'll be on Sunday night, solo actually, and I'll be talking to Penguin after it finishes. So obviously, the Sunday night will be the fourth episode of 8 episodes of the limited series. So about 15, 20 minutes after the episode concludes, I'll go live. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. And Toxic Tuesday next week, Scream 2. It's going to be diabolical. I'm going to let these gentlemen plug their plugs on the way out, starting with Fenrir.
Okay, you guys already know me, you know what I'm all about. Follow me on socials and on YouTube and everywhere. I'm working on my project entertainment. It's gonna take time, so be patient. I promise you won't be disappointed when it comes out because I will do the
Before
best I
next
can
year.
to make you enjoy it. Alright? Okay. Now stay safe now.
Thanks for being here, Fenrir. Appreciate it,
Always a
man.
pleasure.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you, bro.
Pablo.
Hey, first of everything, Fenrir, make you stay.
Yeah, you do.
Eh.
I'm full energy and I'm in hyper mode because I stayed up editing a video until 9 in the morning, maybe. The video is not out yet. The sponsor has to approve it, but it's going to be a good video. It's going to be a really fun video. So please stay tuned. Also, that kind of makes not sleeping, or rather sleeping the whole day because I'm up the whole night editing, worth it. So please watch the video. It's going to be really fun. Andrew is going into really interesting territory right now, and that made me play Tomb Raider Anniversary Edition last night for 40 minutes to get some screenshots and some things that I needed for the video. And yes, I'm saying Andrew is getting into some bubblicious territory and he's willing to defend it. And I'm all for it. If he goes to war for Lara Croft, I'm following. Just saying that. Guys, it has been great. I'm really, really stoked because Hellboy is some of the things that I love the most. You know, I started with the Del Toro movies, and then I never stopped because the character is so goddamn cool. It's so incredible, and sharing that with you guys, especially, I wanted to have Clobby read this issue.
Oh, I
Because
know, right?
I wanted him to. He didn't like Mignola, and he was right about him working on Marvel. He working on DC. Mignola is not a good fit, but you know what? I'm sure that he will have agreed, at least a bit, that Mignola was perfect for Hellboy, and Hellboy is the reason why Mignola should stay in the industry, because he created something so incredible, something so wonderful, something so enjoyable. And I wanted to share that with Clobby. And I had a small chance. He wrote two issues of Hellboy, but we never got to the main story. And at least I can share that with you guys, and we can remember Clobby, and we can honor his legacy, and also enjoy the things that maybe he hated because he didn't knew how cool they were, or maybe he was right. I cannot say, but hey, at least once I make him say something nice about Mignola, and maybe with Luke, I make you guys get into Hellboy and get into something that I enjoy so much. So having this opportunity is absolutely amazing for me.
Well,
I
dude,
hope you
it
had
worked,
enjoyed.
man. It absolutely worked. You succeeded, and we've covered a few volumes now of Hellboy, a few single issues, and we're gonna do more. We're not done with this. Hellboy is a character that will continue to be revisited, and I can't wait
Yes.
for it. So I'm glad we went through with Sea of Destruction. This will not be the last time we talk about our favorite red friend. But until then, sir, it was great to do a show with you as always once more. You have an excellent night and weekend, and I will see you as always soon. Griffin, sir, by all means, catch the replay. It's worth it. It's a nice, good old chill stream tonight. So it happens, and you're not off. It's part of life, but just catch the replay, sir. Let's say it's a good chill stream. But Pablo, thank you as always, sir. Iron Caster.
Hello, friends. This is Ironcaster. You can find me over my channel on Monday nights for the Mech Pit Chat, where we are doing a little bit of a similar kind of chill hangout, where we're going to talk about some little bit of positive pop culture stuff. Maybe get into a little Kamen Rider, a little bit into Transformers, maybe the RPG stuff. Just kind of whatever we're feeling good, feel like talking about, feeling good. Little upbeat stream to kind of start the week off on, because it's too easy to hate on Mondays, and let's keep things up. Let's keep that mood set and let's keep that positivity going. So check me out over there. You can find me, of course, over on Twitter at the Ironcaster, where I will be doing my damnedest to make sure that I let you all know where I'll be at, because I'm on like a dozen streams during the week. It feels like. For example, Tuesday I will be on with Pops and Stone Loki for Talk and Squeaky Mouse for Talk Hardware. This week we have on special guest Brandon the Anime Guy to talk about Vampire Hunter D as we get into the Halloween spirit.
Get the original release, not the Blu-ray budget Japanese translation. Here's a bit of the story. They were in a hurry to get to a screening of the movie, and they had to do just the English dub. And then they, a lot years later, did the Japanese version. So the English version is the original one.
Are you sure? Was that the original, or was that the sequel movie?
No, for the original movie, Vampire Hunter D. Yeah, it was a festival or something, and they needed the movie right away. So they went just with the English dub, and that was it. And then few years later, they did the, I don't remember, it was in the DVD or the Blu-ray, that they did a dub, but they screwed something up. So rare instance where I will say go for the English dub, not for the Japanese dub. It's worth it.
Sweet.
Excellent.
Right. Anything else, Caster?
Nope, that'll be it. Guys, check me out. I'll be all over the internet. And until next time, apparently I've frozen up.
You froze
There
him
we
up,
go.
and then he came back.
Nice.
But hey, sir, thank
Oh,
you
good
for being
background.
here as always. I can't wait to talk some Dead Man with you. You have a great night, weekend. And yeah, really quick before we leave, I agree with Vulcan and Griffin. If you're one of the people who was affected by storms and the following states, best of luck to you, man. Seriously, that is shitty shite. So stay strong out there, and hopefully some GoFundMe's and gifts and goes will come out your way, and hopefully in less than a month we'll have the beginning of a major turnaround. I'm not going to get into it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. But guys, stay on the up and up. Oh, next week we will have a member stream. Next week. Be ready for that as well. Till then, guys,
Get your members ready.
get your members ready. Stay vigilant. Stay cool. And have a great weekend.